Mitch.
Yeah. Yeah, Max. What can I do for you?
Why don't you stop being the Mitcher and start being the Witcher and tell us about what it's like in the land of Poland where they make.
I
Yeah.
want to throw everything on this table.
I am ruining everything.
What is wrong with you on Mondays?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird mix of like caffeine and sadness and Garfield and
someone told me that Garfield, the official Garfield Twitter account, blocked you.
Yeah. I've been blocked by Garfield on Twitter because I was too mean to it.
The official Kathy Twitter or Instagram blocked. Wow.
Marty is actually choking.
Wow. If you want to see water come out of Marty's nose, watch the podcast me on video. All right.
I did not expect a Kathy joke.
Well,
I thought we'd get out of this episode without a Kathy.
Here we are.
Okay, so Mitch.
What was the question?
Mitch, you went to Poland to play a video game? That's insane. Why does that still happen? Why don't they just send the video game to you?
I don't know, but we went to Warsaw, and we went to CD Projekt Red's office, and we played... We sat down, and they were like, yo, do you guys want to play The Witcher for 2 hours? And we said, yeah, no problem, cool. And there were 4 of us. It was me, Daniel Krupa in the UK, Rich Bearpark, and Gav Murphy all out of the UK. We sat down to play for 2 hours, and 6 hours later, they were like, you guys want to get dinner? Mm-hmm. You done? So we played Witcher 3 for 6 hours.
That's awesome.
Which is the first time we have ever played that game for more than like a half an hour to see if it's a real game.
Did you play the first 2 hours 3 times, or did you play 6 hours?
We started, and then we just played straight through for 6 hours.
You laugh, but we've gone to events where they're just like, play it again.
Replay.
You did that for Metal Gear, didn't you, Max?
Just beat it. That's not very long. The difference is that that's apparently you played less than 3% of The Witcher.
Jeez. Yeah,
because that is apparently an over 200-hour-long game.
Which is something I can totally see. Like we were playing the game and we played a few hours and we zoomed out on the map. We're like, wow, look how much stuff there is. Like, look at all these areas we haven't been to, all these towns, all these quests that we haven't opened up. And they're like, yeah, check it out. Here's this build over here where you can see every quest and every icon of every location. And it's the same map, but it's just like little icons everywhere, like everywhere.
So I was going to ask you about that actually, because that sort of overwhelms me in games like Assassin's Creed. Like Assassin's Creed actually starts to feel like, especially the newest one, when you open up your map, it's like
stuff.
Oh my god,
stuff.
I have so much to do. It's actually slightly overwhelming. It's awesome to sort of conquer it all.
Big difference though is that in the case of Assassin's Creed, I feel like a lot of time that stuff is collectibles.
Yeah,
you know, it'll be like climb the thing or like get the piece of paper that blew away.
Well, a lot of the time
in the
Witcher,
it's a story.
It's either a story that it's like a quest story that you can go find, which is great because the side quests are like long enough and substantial enough and kind of segue naturally from one to the next that they are their own story and they are like the building blocks of a larger drama.
There's something funky in my haunted beach house. Geralt, want to go check it out?
Yeah, and that,
what could go wrong?
There's one quest where like you get a job from a guy in a bar and you go do it and you help somebody do a thing. You come back and you're like, I did it, pay me. And he says, cool, no problem. And then dudes who don't like him come in to like give him trouble because you did this thing. And depending on how that situation goes, you might end up in jail. Mm-hmm. And then you have like this other side quest where it's like, you need to break out of jail now. And you could just avoid that if you like talk through the situation.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Now here's a big question I have, because The Witcher is a game. This is a weird game to be coming out on a Sony platform because the last 2 games never did.
Sure.
They do not exist.
Yeah.
Like you can play Witcher 2 on PC or on 360. You can play Witcher 1 on PC. Like that's it. I guess you can play it on Mac too, but you know, who's counting? So how does it work story-wise? Because like I've read some of the books. I've read the comic. I've played Witcher 2. I was watching the first 15 minutes of gameplay, and I was like, "What the hell are they talking about again?"
It's a really good question. Like, what is their sort of plan for catching people up?
There kind of isn't one. I mean, they have an opening cutscene where it's like it's very clear, like, oh, here's this like black-haired sorceress that the main character is pursuing in a way that is like he clearly is in love with her, and it's not. Like, he is chasing her while she and he are both being chased by this other nefarious group.
Right.
So that's all in, like, cutscenes, and even, like, the loading screens have descriptive comic book style story elements. But, if this is your first Witcher, it is actually, I think, the best place to start in the entire series.
Good.
The first game has, obviously, it's, like, the foundation, but it's very dense. It's very long. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot of unnecessary story stuff. The Witcher 2 is like, cool, you played The Witcher 1? Right on, cool. No, I didn't. I don't care. We're going to move on as though you have, and we're not going to stop to linger on anything. Like, if you don't understand, sorry, they move on. The Witcher 3 is, like, that history exists, but it's not like you have to understand what happened in The Witcher 2. to even understand why you're doing the thing you're doing. It's like, got it. Okay, Geralt is in love with this woman named Yennefer. Yennefer is missing.
Her name's Jennifer. You're mispronouncing
Sorry,
it.
that's my mistake.
Yeah.
So Geralt goes after Jennifer.
Gerald. It's actually Gerald.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gerald
It's
Riviera.
Geralt and Jennifer.
Geraldo Riviera.
So Dave is chasing after Julia.
It's Yave.
So Geralt is looking for Yennefer, and that just takes you on your quest. And throughout that, it's like there's just more time to stop and take in the world and learn about stuff and learn things from the locals and like read your diary entries and learn about characters and locations and histories in a way that The Witcher 2 didn't. So if this is your first time, yes, it's going to be overwhelming because here's this lived-in world that's been here for centuries and there's all of these conflicts that's building up into this climactic third chapter. But you're going to be all right. Like, you're going to figure it out. Like, the motivations of the characters are
So you think it'll be an
simple enough.
okay sort of like first? This is your first Witcher game.
I think it's totally fine.
Okay.
Because we went, like, the 3 UK guys didn't ever play a Witcher game.
Yeah.
And they were all like, yeah, it's a little much to take in, but all of it is really cool.
I mean, honestly, a lot of
I
fantasy
like it all.
games when you jump in are a little much. A lot of
Yeah.
fantasy anything is just a
Sure.
little much.
I mean,
where it's like I have to learn all these new rules. And
But it's
the
the
con-
difference
the-
between something like Dragon Age and Witcher 2, where Dragon Age takes the time to be like, hey, welcome. Here's some cool stuff. Here's
Yeah.
some this race. Here's this church. There's this conflict.
yeah.
And you're like, all right, I get the basics. Everything else is just dressing and, you know, people in the world talk about it as though it's a thing that just happens there. Like, The Witcher 2 did not do that. It's like it did not take any time to talk to you at all about what you were seeing. It was
And
like,
I mean, the thing is,
they know what this is.
it's
so
also-
deal with it.
Witcher 2, I mean, The Witcher, I never played the first one, so I don't know where that fell exactly, but Witcher 2 takes place after 6 books. Like, it takes place after an entire series of novels.
Yeah, well, so the first game adapts some of the short stories
Right.
from that collection.
Kikimora.
Sure.
Yeah.
Don't remember that one.
It's like a spider with
That's a
alligator
lot of-
legs.
Oh,
Or
okay.
alligator with spider legs.
That's kind of a lot of homework
Yeah.
expected before you start a game.
Yeah.
So the first book was like, hey, we're going to grab from these short stories and a little bit from like over here, and we built this new game. The Witcher 2 was an entirely original story with some influences from the books. The Witcher 3 is like, forget all of that. Like,
Okay.
there's this stuff with Yennefer that I don't really think has been explored. The stuff with Ciri is happening at it's almost like a different timeline, because the Ciri story and the Yennefer story are happening at a different time, but they're
Okay.
happening together here.
Okay. I'm
Ciri being
I'm
the second playable character and like Geralt's protege.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Ciri's introduced in the books, and not all the books are even out stateside yet. You know, unless you want to pirate some books with fan translations or
you can
whatever.
read Polish.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking
Don't
forward
pirate
to
or
this.
don't read Polish.
Both of them.
Just don't read.
One of them is easier than the other.
Um,
But yeah, I'm extremely excited about this. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the. I'm not even gonna. This is one of the reasons I bought a PlayStation 4. I was just like, this is probably gonna be one of my first like really sinking my teeth into
Yeah,
a game.
yeah.
and just-
Yeah.
I
just-
built my PC in 2011 for The Witcher 2. I wanted to make sure I had a kick-ass PC that could run The Witcher 2. And now I'm like, man, can I run The Witcher 3? Because it looks really good and
Yeah.
it's really big.
so yeah, I wanted to ask that too. Like, this was one of the first next-gen games we saw. Like, I remember when it was like a
that's right.
GI cover story like
In
3
2013.
years ago.
2013, June, July
And
2013.
yeah,
That was back when people wouldn't even acknowledge that there was next gen
Coming
consoles.
to consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you looked at the screens and you're like, well, this is obviously not 360.
Coming to
Yeah.
PC and other platforms.
So, I mean, does the game still look that good? Like,
Yep.
Is it that?
Yep.
Yeah.
We went into this, like, they said you're going to play 2 hours. We thought, okay, that's a pretty small portion. They let us play 6. We went in going, like, all right, is this a game? They've delayed it so many times. Like, is this going to be anything remotely as ambitious as what they've talked about? Like, have they scaled it down? Is it different? Is the ambition less? And it's really not. Like, it is that good looking, and the world is that big, and it is that complicated. There's just so much to do and see. It is overwhelming and super exciting at the same time. Like, it's exactly what you want from that kind of open world game where there's these big, beautiful scenes and you can like run on horseback across the plains and see something interesting in the distance and go check it out. And it leads you to some new location that you'd never expected to see. I love that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
that is what a
that's-
good open world game does.
That's awesome.
And in the 6 hours we played, like, we could have gone a lot farther, but we all just took all the time we could to see everything.
I was so impressed by the first demo of Witcher 3 that that's actually what got me into it. Like, I'd played Witcher 2 when it came to 360. Kind of like, I think I reviewed it. It didn't really finish it. It was one of the first sort of reviews I did with Rev 3 Games, and we were kind of experimenting with our model of it, but it was sort of like,
Sure.
I didn't know what the hell I was getting into with that. I kind of didn't really grasp it. I didn't really fully, I guess I didn't really grok the whole, like, the fantasy that they have set up there. And after seeing Witcher 3, I was like, I'm going to go give this another chance. I'm going to go start this over. I'm going to go read the book. The first book of short stories is awesome. It's fabulous.
It's really good.
Because it's all just like, you don't really pick it up until after a certain point, but it's just like basically perverted fairy tales. Like they take like classic fairy tales, but kind of revisit them in like a believable, fleshed out universe. Like why would this thing be like this? Why would this classic fairy tale ever happen in real life? And they build a world around it. It's awesome. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Plus beards.
Did you hunt anything wild?
So the only
Subtitles.
I got you.
Yeah.
The only real thing we hunted was a griffin, because the prologue is basically like, yo, this griffin's terrorizing this town, and we'll tell you where to find this person you're looking for if you like help us solve this griffin problem. And you can go about it a number of different ways, but like the way I did it was I tracked it like using all these different materials. I brought it out of hiding, and then I tracked it back to its home, and I found like it had had this like big nest, and these humans had killed its mate, so it was just like raging out of this town. And there are different things you can find to kind of get the griffin's attention, to bring it out of hiding, to follow it to where you need it to kill it. And it's pretty cool. I hope that's an element that exists throughout, and it's not just like this one-time thing.
Yeah, totally.
That seems like something they really want to do, and I really like the fact that they create mechanics in The Witcher that are like kind of actually built around the lore. Like they're not just, oh yeah, he uses potions, therefore here are potions that refill your mana, or potions that do this thing. It's like you'll have one like extremely really weirdly specific potion, and the downside is that it's vaguely toxic. Like the whole thing was in the second one, all the potions had like a toxicity to them. Mm-hmm. So like you can't just be like, I'm gonna take 8. It's not like, Skyrim where you're like, oh no, I got bit by a dog, I'm gonna eat 5 loaves of bread and everything's fine. Yeah. It's like in The Witcher you're like well, I'm about to fight a spider by burning it to death. I have to take a potion that makes me resilient to arachnid venom, but also that bolsters my fire spells. So you take like 2 potions, and you're like, if I take any more potions, I will vomit myself to death right now.
Which is like, that's a lot more like real life medicine.
Yeah,
because real life medicine is always just like, take this pill to make you happy, but it'll make your butt bleed.
Pretty much.
And there's at the end, there's like a banjo playing, and there's small text at the bottom. It's like your butthole will totally bleed.
So
it's terrifying.
One thing I'm really excited about The Witcher 3 is that once they finish it, they're going to start working on Cyberpunk, which is going to just rock so much ass. I'm so excited about that freaking game. It's going to be so cool.
That's another side effect.
Your butt's going to bleed.
Yeah, but they... God, I mean, it's just...
I want that box quote now. This game rocks ass.
So much ass.
Max Scoville.
I'll have you know that my copy of MotorStorm Pacific Rift says that on it.
Does it?
Because I wrote it on there with a Sharpie. Because I love that game so much. But no,
were you one of those kids that wrote your name on NES games, or were you a Genesis kid?
No, I was a tidy kid.
Got it.
I would eat a lot of sticky food and then handle things and get them all messed up.
I used to lend people games, and they would write their name on it, and then that's like basically I think you're allowed.
Make it yours.
You're legally allowed to punch them in the face in front of their parents.
All those people, celebrities.
Yeah.
They're just like, here, check this out. They're like, oh, sure, I'll sign this for you. Anyway, Cyberpunk. That's what the CD Projekt Red is going to be doing next, and they've announced this a million years ago. They seem to be doing kind of like as much as I.
So what is this? What is this game?
Cyberpunk is based on the first pen and paper role playing game that was based on like Cyberpunk, like Blade Runner and William Gibson novels, and they've got the original guy. Crap, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Steven Spielberg.
It's Steven something. It's
William Gibson.
Not William Gibson. It's
Neil
Steve
Stevenson.
I have a book. I have one of his.
Wait, is that the sorcery guy?
Yave
I
Yennefer.
think it's the guy who did
Harrison Ford.
Damn it. All I can think is Steve Sansweet, but he's the guy who writes the toy guides. I know who he is. I know who Steve Sansweet is.
Power through it.
Anyway, this Steve
Pablo
guy.
Hidalgo.
I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's the guy who wrote the original game, like
the
guidebook and the rule set for this, Cyberpunk
the guy who
world.
did like Warhammer and
Steve Jackson.
Probably, maybe not
Yes.
Steve. It's not Steve Jackson. It's a different one. I don't know. He's
Peter Jackson.
God damn it.
oh, angry dad.
So anyway, they got the guy who wrote the original rule set for a really good RPG back in 1984 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they're having
George Orwell.
I can leave. I can just leave. I can just get up and I can leave. And they're having him write the rule set for the game. Like they're having him adapt this. And the original was Cyberpunk 2025, but that's probably when that game's actually going to come out. So this is Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
And so he wants to do like it's kind of going to be like that kind of paleo futuristic approach to Cyberpunk, where everyone's got like cyborg implants and Oculus Rifts and the dumb
which could still
Matrix-y
happen
stuff.
by 2077. We don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like a little bit corny, like.
Yeah.
Just like it's kind of like a little bit too Judge Dreddy and a little bit tongue in cheek. I
mean, that first teaser they showed was super like serious and on point. It was that that girl and she was half robot. There was bullets everywhere.
But that's at that point that's not really like that's almost a fantastic future. That's not really. It's kind of funny because if you want realistic sci-fi, you look at like post-cyberpunk because we already have the internet now and things have kind of changed. But anyway, they got this guy coming in and he's got like a sense of like what actual futurism is, and he wants to really address the fact that everyone has phones.
I'm trying to find this thing for you, but I can't find it. I can't find this dude anywhere. Stephen Bilius?
Search teenagers from outer space.
Got it.
Anyway, he also did that. It's a different game. But yeah, so like the fact that everyone does have smartphones, and in like classical kind of cyberpunk, futuristic literature, people have like cyberspace decks. They have like an Ono Sendai, you're going to use this. You're going to use some goggles to hack into the Matrix or whatever. But it's like we don't have the Matrix. We have like
Google.
We've got Gmail and stuff and texting, and I don't think it's going to be quite that realistic as you can kind of guess by the lady with the knives for arms in the trailer. But CD Projekt Red did drop one thing that I hope that I understand this correctly and that this is something they're actually implementing because it is one of the coolest game mechanics I've ever heard about. They talked about how they want to have languages in the game and how you will get cybernetic uplink or upgrades to your like brain that lets you understand language. So you'll be like, instead of getting a Rosetta Stone or whatever, learning how to speak Portuguese or something, you just buy a chip that lets you like a Babel fish kind of thing.
Yeah, like now you can communicate with this.
But I don't know if that's gonna be the thing. They said that they want to have it in the game so you can buy good ones that translate everything or less good ones that are sort of broken. So it's like you're using Google Translate. Now the third element here that I'm really hoping that they stick to, and I don't know, maybe they'll hear this and they'll implement it or something. But I love the idea of just having a game that has parts of it that aren't translated, and it's like if you speak Spanish in real life, then you don't need to get this thing because you are applying one of your real life skill sets.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Like if they have people speaking like Vietnamese in the game and I'm like sitting on my couch with my girlfriend who speaks Vietnamese and I can be like, hey, what did they say? And she can help me.
They're talking about me?
Like,
That is
otherwise
awesome.
I have to save up and get a chip that teaches me how to like
that's
the fact
really
that,
cool.
Yeah. Like language as a real life ability, I mean, or maybe implementing actual coding and like hacking and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you have a game that lets you hack within the game to access things in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, as opposed to just like a stupid like tile puzzle.
Yeah, I love that idea of like if you have a real world skill, you can do something in the game that otherwise you would. It's not that it's locked off to you, but you need to spend in-game currency in order to do this. But if you have a real world skill, you don't.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
I don't know. So anyway, that was a long walk to get there, but I'm really excited about Cyberpunk. That's probably gonna be so incredible when it comes out. But
that's gonna be a 2016 game even.
No, that is gonna come out in 2077. But Witcher 3 looks fantastic.
So what else? IGN first. What else can we expect the rest of the month?
Yeah, so we're going to have a big hands-on preview with impressions of we all played that 6 hours. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to have lots of really interesting new footage. I don't want to spoil too much of what it's going to be just yet, but we've got lots of first looks at stuff that you're going to want to see with like new characters and new locations and new monsters.
More
and all that
Yennefer?
kind of stuff. So maybe some Yennefer.
Mermaids? Do we get to see the mermaids?
No
Mermaids?
Are there mermaids in this game?
Mermaids were the first ladies that they showed off in that game.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I did not fight or seduce any mermaids.
Mermaids are also the presidential first ladies of the sea.